Other people can do what we're doing, but they can't do this.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the Jeff Heilman Project. Today, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about the most expensive items, according to this article from GoBankingRates.com in 2023. The reason why we're bringing it up
is inflation the most expensive thing right now.
Feels like going to Walmart's the most expensive thing right now, honestly. But the reason why I brought this up is a few episodes ago, Jeff and I were talking about experiences, about going to the museums, about just going out and doing and go and do. And so I thought, I was originally searching for the most expensive experiences in 2023. And there were some, obviously really cool travel experiences. But then that got me thinking, what about the most expensive, items, because let's just have some fun. So I've got a list and we're going to be counting down 10 to 1. This first episode that we will be publishing will be the top 10 through 5. And then if you want to continue to hang on for that cliffhanger next week, we'll be going into 5 to number 1. So as far as this week goes, honey, how was your week? Did you do anything or have anything memorable? We cleared out my grandpa's house, which, speaking of things, there was a lot of things, 3 tons worth of just yard debris. Grandpa was a builder, so there were lots of fence material and bricks. We figured it not to take to the dump anymore because that made it a lot more expensive when you try to get rid of bricks at the recycling. But it felt so good, pretty cathartic to get, help them get through all that stuff. But other than that, we've had a pretty quiet week.
This last week was a good week. I have a new lead for a new coaching client, a new lead for a new consulting client, working on a big deal that we'll be traveling to go see customers for a software deal. Next week I'll be in Canada, chasing that down.
And Pastor Adam celebrated his 60th,
Adam had his 60th birthday party. We had fun over
Sunday,
at their place
had
on Sunday.
Fun doing that.
Yeah. And then I got the Justin Walsh course, which I'm going to put we'll want to make sure and put the affiliate link in there, Andrew, for that. Justin Walsh just released a new course, the CMBA, which is the Content Creators MBA. I bought that last weekend along with the access to the community for a year, which is going to be amazing. I haven't spent any money on courses in the last year plus since I first bought the Content OS and the LinkedIn OS, and then now the much awaited, for those of us in his wait list newsletter tribe, the Content Creators MBA, and it's incredible. I hope that you will look through the material there. Justin Welsh does just a fantastic job on all of his courses. They're the least amount of money I've spent for the most amount of value and the most amount of learning in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort on my part. And then the CMBA is actually kind of that soup to nuts that answers the question, okay, if I'm going to start a business online from a cold start and I know nothing, all the way to expert level, how do I run analytics to see how my ads are performing for my advertisers in my email newsletter? Those types of things really start to get important. So,
and so you'll be hearing more about us and what we're doing and how we're applying the program, I'm sure, in the future.
So a lot of new things and a lot of old things that we went through at Grandpa's house.
New
last week.
And old and marrying the two. So this article starts out by saying, wouldn't it be nice to have so much money that you could choose to buy anything you wanted without checking your bank balance first?
Yep.
Maybe you'd want to buy the most expensive thing in the world. But what would that be? The most
10.
Expensive thing, although I'm sure there's a lot more than that. The most expensive thing in the world is the History Supreme yacht with an astonishing value of $4.5 billion.
History
Supreme.
I have to write that down.
Yes, we can do a little bit more research about that later.
Because I have never heard of the History Supreme.
Maybe Andrew can throw up a picture of the yacht. History Supreme yacht.
billion?
$4.5 billion.
You could buy an aircraft carrier for that.
Keep reading to
With
learn
a
more
Navy.
about the most expensive things in the world for
Holy
2023.
moly. Okay.
Okay, so there are actually 15, and without us going into discussion over them, I'll do the loser 5, the ones that are outside of the realm of the top 10.
The History Supreme Yacht is not one of the loser
top
5.
15, number 15 is a dead shark for $8 million.
A dead shark?
A dead shark. While many expensive things have useful revenue-generating purposes, some of the world's most expensive objects seem to make less sense. Artist Damien Hirst created the physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living, a.k.a. the shark. In 1991, it's a tiger shark preserved in formaldehyde in a vitrine and was commissioned by Charles Saatchi. It sold for $8 million to hedge fund billionaire Stephen Cohen, according to multiple reports. So, an $8 million formaldehyde preserved
in the
tiger
and
shark.
Dunk it in a tank of formaldehyde and sell it for $8 million.
Number 14, Mariah Carey's engagement ring, $10 million.
She won't be needing that anymore, I guess.
Number 13, a perfect pink diamond comes in at $23 million. Christie's Hong Kong sold a 14.23 carat fancy intense pink diamond to anonymous buyer for just over $23 million.
Inclusion free.
Number 12, a Chopard 201 carat gemstone watch for $25 million. Number 11,
I can't wait to see the picture of that one.
A giant clock for $42 million. Amongst billionaire Jeff Bezos' more extravagant purchases is a $42 million giant clock designed to run for 10,000 years.
It's on a big
Perhaps it could be considered a business expense if he uses it to ensure everyone receives their Prime Day purchases in 2 days or less.
Nice.
Funny joke. Number 10.
That's exciting.
1962 Ferrari GTO, which sold for $48.4 million.
Ferris Bueller.
Sold in Monterey at Sotheby's auction.
I think we know.
Yeah, I know. I think that's because it says anonymous buyer, but we heard rumors we were. If
we will not give it out.
If you all ever go to Carmel in Northern California, come and visit us. Come and drop us a line. Say, hey, Jeff and Jessica, we're in town. If you go once a year to the Cour d'Elegance, you will see phenomenal cars at the Cour d'Elegance.
It's billions of dollars.
Is it May?
Cars.
It's like springtime, right?
That's a good question. I should know when it is. I've never been to it.
Yeah.
But we see the cars cruise by there. Yeah. Concours d'Elegance is probably one of the most.
And it was at the and I'm not gonna reveal obviously if it's an anonymous buyer, but
it's anonymous, but we know
we do know there. Okay, so if you're interested about cars, the new Ferrari movie came out. There's the Lamborghini movie, but this is something interesting that I think we could talk about. That race. What is that race that they do?
Cannonball Run.
Yeah, tell the listeners about the Cannonball Run.
It's actually not a race. It's considered a rally.
Okay.
Because there are no winners, or they're all winners.
If you can afford to be part of the Cannonball Run.
But there's a guy that has the branding for it, and you can have a car sponsoring the rally. You can have a car wrapped in your Cannonball stuff, and all food, all expense paid food and hotel and everything for.
It goes down to Arizona
7-8 days, yeah. And then one year we heard that he had a Halloween party. One of the guys had a Halloween party at a house in Houston, and so he got his 737 Boeing business jet to fly from wherever they were on the 30th to Houston, and I guess he flew all the guys and ladies. From the Cannonball Run rally to his house in Houston for their monster Halloween party, and then flew them back. And if you look at a Boeing business jet, I mean, a 737, I think they seat about 180 people. Average, call it 200 people with average plane ticket of $200. So 200 times 200 is what, 40,000?
A lot.
50,000. I'm trying to do my zeros here.
You're the math guy.
Yeah. 2 times 200 is 400. 20 times 200 is 4,000. 200 times 200 should be 40,000. It's probably more than that, but it's like the fuel to get to Houston, it's probably closer to like 60 or 80,000 just for fuel. So, and that's each way. That's each way. So the guy that was participating in that was obviously doing well. I don't know if he can buy a History Supreme yacht, but yeah, that's what you do when you want to hang with
Cannonball.
Cannonballers.
Okay, so number 9. Moving on to number 9. Hey everybody, this is Jessica. I'm so excited to offer to you this new service and this ability that you have to text in your questions, comments. Maybe you have some situations that you'd love for Jeff and Jessica to try to tackle along with you. You can text us now at 203-646-1472. Your phone carrier may have standard rates that apply, it being a text, but this is a free service from us to you in which we would like to participate with you in an ongoing conversation about how we can help and what we can possibly do for you. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Car insurance is a big business, and finding the right domain name can be a pricey proposition.
Oh.
Carinsurance.com cost $49.7 million, according to GoDaddy, the highest publicly reported price ever for a domain name. The purchase was made by Quinn Street. Apparently not willing to skimp on domain purchases, the tech giant previously had purchased insurance.com and insure.com. That sounds a bit...
I got a dead shark I can sell you.
$49.7 million for a domain name.
I got a dead shark that I'll sell you for $8 million.
And if anybody wants Jessica Builds, you just let me know.
Yeah, exactly.
JeffHeilman.com, also available for the right price.
Also available.
Okay, coming in.
I will not barter that for a shark, though, I can guarantee you.
Now, number 8, the Graff, Graff.
This is fun. We got to get all the way through these 10. I want to find them out.
Trying.
It's exciting.
The Graff hallucination watch. Lawrence Graff, chairman of Graff Diamonds, introduced this gemstone watch masterpiece to the world in 2014. And it is an undisputed, one-of-a-kind show of craftsmanship featuring more than 110 carats total of diamonds in various shapes and colors. And it goes for a nice $55 million.
Oh my gosh. We got to get some pictures. Hopefully, Andrew, you can throw some pictures up there. I would love to see the Graff hallucination watch. Okay.
Number 7, portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer painting. The Gustav Klimt painting, Adele Bloch-Bauer, last sold in 2006 for $135 million, purchased by art collector Ronald Lauder for display in the Neue Gallery, New York. Neue. How would you say that?
Neue?
Yeah.
It's usually simpler. It'd be like
Neue Gallery.
Neue
Gallery, New York.
Yeah, the E is silent.
The Gustav Klimt, which
the twin E's
are amazing. And that movie, that was pretty good. Okay, number 6, the last one for this episode is Amazon founder and billionaire Jeff Bezos owns a lot of real estate, including a $119 million mansion, a $23 million New York City condo, and a $23 million house in Washington, D.C. But his highest property to date seems to be his $163 million estate in Beverly Hills, previously owned by music mogul David Geffen.
Wow. Billionaires talk to billionaires. I mean, that's a thing. $163 million estate. Okay.
165 $1,000 saved.
That sounds.
And I think
good.
the reason why I love this is because, I mean, if you just get it down to boiling, like down to the soups and nuts, the ones and zeros, we've got car, internet domain,
boat. Don't forget a boat.
A watch, a boat,
A pet,
and art, and a house. So, you know, the things like, I don't know.
I have all those things.
We have ideas.
I have a boat.
We have ideas of things. So what makes
boat.
the idea of the thing more or less valuable based on the thing, right?
I mean, there's eccentricities.
You've got the balloon dog, the Coons balloon dog. That's worth, you know, millions of dollars.
Balloon, which I saw one of those in person. It
was just some guy's idea. Like, I want to make a big
I want to make a stainless steel sculpture that looks just like a balloon dog.
And yet that thing ends up.
Yeah. Well, he made the rabbit.
And the rabbit.
The rabbit was $91 million. I mean, he didn't make that.
You've got
when it was sold,
you go through the art museum, you go through modern art museums, and you see like a picture of a big dot on a white canvas with a dot.
But I
think what ends up becoming, and you and I have talked about this before, is it's the first. A lot of times
it's unique,
it's the first. And when it's the first thing, and sometimes it's unrealized let's too. Look at for Van Gogh, he was unrealized until the end.
Your grandparents' house over the last couple of months. And there's a lot of stuff that ended up in the landfill that was just stuff that needed debris and trash and garbage and stuff. But the art all got saved. Yeah. The art all got moved into our home and
dispersed amongst
the people that
care about and mean something.
Yeah. When we look at Seth Godin's call to action in his book, Linchpin, Are You Indispensable? His call to action is make art. And I would think that what we're doing here today, we're trying to make art, trying to do something that nobody else could do. Other people can do what we're doing, but they can't do this. They can't do it the way that we're doing it right now. And that because it's unique, because it's handcrafted, we have lighting and chairs and furniture and backdrops and accent lights and phones and camera angles and clothing and all that stuff. We're trying to create a presentation here that's interesting. People will be excited to hear it, to watch it, to see my lovely wife on camera with her little fuzzy clamper things.
There's a spirit of innovation. We've talked about this in previous episodes. I think in one of the first probably 10 episodes, the spirit of innovation. And we've talked also about how the really, in order to not be influenced by outside voices, outside experiences, and that our ideas just become some regenerated thing that ends up just becoming another thing of a kind, in order to create these one-of-a-kind moments, these one-of-a-kind stop and stare or take somebody's breath away, you really have to come to a place of meditation and come to a place where there's space for creating something that is unique. And so, you know, I always say that we will become the billionaires that we believe that we were meant to be when we create something that ends up setting the tone and setting the pace for the laws to be written in order to marginalize that thing. Because that's what Amazon, Jeff Bezos is so brilliant and was able to become so smart, so rich, because he was creating something so fast that the laws couldn't catch up in order to regulate the amount of money that he was able to make.
Yeah.
The same goes for Zuckerberg. Like there were no regulations in the social media space until he created a need for them. And so if you can be on cutting edge of the railroad or cutting edge of oil or cutting edge of whatever industry that you're in, when you can be on the cutting edge of that and create something before those regulations come and start to marginalize what you can produce, then you're going to be in high cotton, probably more than you could ever afford to spend. However, in order to get to the place to where you're creating original, creative, no one's ever seen it before, no one's ever talked about it before place, it's gonna only come by way of quiet, reflective, meditative,
mindful.
As Henry Ford said, the ideas are just coming out of the universe, the unfortunate thing is that it's like they're hitting a plate turned upside down, because we are turned off to being able to receive all of those ideas versus a cup that can catch them. Yeah. So we hope that these things, I mean, basic things, house, boat, car, domain name, we hope that these things that we talked about in the 10 to 5, the bottom 5, top 5, whatever, have motivated you to maybe think out of the box and get some quiet time. Go set aside and get some quiet time and see what you can come up with.
And realize that basically you can be worth $100 billion and you're still looking to buy cars, boats, and houses.
Yeah, exactly. I go by Home Depot a lot, and I think, wow, all the materials are in this Home Depot to build a
cars,
billion-dollar house. Yeah. So have a good night, you guys. We'll see you next week for those top 5. You won't want to miss them. Although you already know what number 1 is, we're going to go through the remaining 4, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. You won't want to miss it. And then go and do some research on your own and see what these things look
cool.
like.
And let
comments. Us know.
Absolutely. Put comments around what you found that's expensive, that's cool.
Yeah. And we'll talk more next week. We'll see you. We look forward to it for those top 5 most expensive things in 2023.
See ya.